So you've worked to create a balanced agro-ecosystem. Check. You've put into place a diverse crop rotation. Check. You've identified problem pests and diseases and designed cultural controls to manage those populations. Check. But gosh dang it, you still ended up with significant problems on your hands. So the great news is that crop failures on account of pests and diseases are notably rare in healthy organic systems, but there's always that annoying exception. In this case, there are some OMRI-listed non-synthetic materials that can be used if an infestation gets out of hand. Before listing out these well-known options, I want to stress that efficacy can be all over the place, and the cost-benefit of using a purchased input can lean much further towards the cost than the benefit. Every organic pesticide is only a temporary solution, if it works at all. And unless more permanent interventions are used, the problem will only come back. Another consideration is that as you're pursuing ecological harmony on your farm, introducing something like an insecticide can disrupt the balance between beneficial organisms. This can actually make the problem a lot worse by causing a secondary outbreak. Most of these materials are broad spectrum. That means you're knocking out your honeybees and your butterflies while you're chasing that problem pest. But make sure you do your research before going whole hog and whole wallet purchasing an input. I'm going to stick on my inspector hat real quick and just remind you that whenever you use an input, you need to get it approved by your certifier before you use it. Don't go using a new insecticide to try to deal with a problem and then only find out that it was a prohibited substance and you're out of organics. All right, one of my favorites, diatomaceous earth, aka DE. It's probably the most commonly used insecticide in organics. That is one fancy name for a finely milled, fossilized remain of an ancient organism called diatoms. Basically, it's ground shells that scratch the exoskeleton, drying out the bugs that are coming in contact with it. And it is brutal on a very small scale. We talk more about DE in the storage module, as it's one of the only effective material controls we have in organics. Check out the harvest module for a little bit more detailed information about its application. Pyrethrum is probably the second most common input I've heard of used in organic field crops, and honestly, it's just not that common. It's a plant-based insecticide that's derived from the powdered flowers of chrysanthemums. It's a broad-spectrum knockdown insecticide that can impact true bugs, caterpillars, beetles, and aphids, but it's particularly harmful to honeybees, so not great. Other beneficial insects also can be damaged by it, as well as fish and to a little bit lesser extent, birds. It degrades rapidly and has minimal residual control. A widely available trade name that you might find is pyganic. A group of contact-based pesticides like kaolin clay, trade name Surround, and insecticidal oils and soaps can help control aphids and other insects. But all it takes is just one quick rain to wipe that material off the plants and you're back to square one. So I know we've all heard about Bt corn, but what you might not know is that Bt is actually a naturally occurring soil bacterium that can be used in organic production. A common trade name is dipel. A couple of catches here though are ultraviolet radiation degrades it, so most farmers are going to apply it right around dusk. The second catch is that GMO Bt crops have unfortunately created increased resistance to the material in insects, making it less effective. Other botanical insecticides, like neem from the neem tree or garlic, can work as repellents and have some residual, but they require reapplications and can be really expensive. So if you're really into organic pesticides, we have added some additional resources into the lesson notes. However, be warned that the vast majority of information out there is relevant to small-scale, high-value crops like, say, fruits and vegetables. There's precious little research done on organic pesticide applications in field crops. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. As with weed control, insects and diseases will be more effectively managed using an ecologically based, integrated approach. Lots of little hammers. Maybe the best place to leave it though is to give you my general answer when I'm asked about insect and disease control in organics. And I'm pretty sure you know what you're gonna say because you can just look at your hand because it's tattooed there. Crop rotation. 2 words. Crop rotation. Really, it's a 2-word answer, I promise. That's the basis that a good crop protection program is based around. And it's the basis everything good in organics is based around. We get good crop yields, predictable income, general risk management. In the next lesson, we'll learn from our deep dive farmers about their experience with pest and disease management. All right, see you over there.